What is going on, Swoopers? Welcome back to a special episode of Swoop Luke. As you guys know, I've been telling you guys for 6 years that I know sweet F all about the draft, so I don't know how to talk about it. So I thought, why not get the best in the business, Jonty from Craft of the Draft, joining us today. How are you, mate?
Yeah, very good, very good. Preston City Oval, it's chilly,
Yeah.
but yeah, perfect Melbourne weather for it.
Oh, tell you what. Look, I wanted to get you on for a couple of things.
Yep.
One being, Tony Maguire and all the NGAs that we've sort of got coming up and, talk about our depth. Most important thing is the mid-season draft is happening.
Yep.
I thought it was in a couple of weeks. You're telling me it's like in
Next
10
Wednesday.
days. Yeah,
Yep.
So it is absolutely nuts. I guess we'll start from then. At the moment, Collingwood have got one pick confirmed, which is Reef McInnes.
Yep.
Is on the long-term injury list. There are sort of rumours and rumblings that we're going to chuck Harvey Harrison on there as well, so it gives us 2 picks.
Yep.
Top of the ladder means we have pick 7 or wherever it's sort of looking like. At the moment, where do you see Collingwood's needs and wants from the mid-season draft?
I know a big one is Rod Ali. So
Yep.
he's been playing the last couple of weeks as an intercept defender for Collingwood VFL, has started the season at the Eastern Ranges, and he's the sort of player that's really tough and doesn't have much of a background in footy. So Collingwood were to pick him up at the mid-season draft, it'd be as a long-term project.
Okay.
They wouldn't see him playing in the next couple of years, you wouldn't have thought. He hadn't played any high-level footy prior to this year, comes from a basketball background.
And we love those guys.
Yeah,
We love
exactly.
those guys.
Scott Pendlebury, and there's a long line of them in the AFL. So, yeah, he's the one that Collingwood, it sounds like, are keenest on, but things can sort of change quite quickly. And that's certainly more of a long-term look rather than a plug-and-play sort of player.
Yeah, so look, talk to me about Rod Ali a little bit more. So I saw him, so actually he debuted here
Yes, he
a
did.
couple of weeks ago against the Northern Bull Ants. I see him as, obviously he's an intercept marking defender, half-back. We've got a couple of those at the moment, and I know you're saying long-term, well, we've got TJ waiting in the wings, we've got a Jacob Ryan, we've got, Maynard, Houston as well. Why do you think Collingwood, and he's only he's 188 centimetre or something like that, why do you think Collingwood are sort of into him as much as they are?
Yeah, I think it's a really interesting one. I can understand the real upside with him is because he's probably got, outside of TJ, perhaps a little bit more athleticism than some of those guys. So probably plays a little bit taller and is built for the modern game with that regard.
Yep.
But I do think there are players that suit Collingwood better, but perhaps on merit, they just see him as the player that is most meritorious to go.
Yeah, interesting. And so you're saying that he was from the Eastern Ranges and basketball background, and he's just shot up. Is that right?
Yeah, so no one had ever seen him before this year. Credit to the Eastern Rangers. They've been on him for a couple of years, wanting to get him to play footy. Wow. They could see the attributes in him. They finally convinced him in his 19th year to give it a crack. He's always played local footy, but he's always sort of just done it as a little bit of an outlet for basketball.
Yeah.
And then, this year, he's come and done some really special things. And you look at the stats sheet, and perhaps I'm not so much talking about what he's done at VFL level, but certainly at Coates League level and playing in the young guns.
Yeah.
He only gets the 10 to 12 touches a game, 4 to 5 tackles, but he's such a presence, he's so imposing, and he's got the ability to really make his presence felt with the pressure he applies and some of the off-ball stuff that he does that doesn't show up on the stats sheet.
Yeah, interesting. And look, so that's one of the defenders that we're sort of after.
Yep.
There are a couple other names that I want to sort of chuck out to you that, again, I know nothing, right?
Yep.
These are the names that I'm hearing.
Yep.
We obviously have, we like promoting from the VFL. Ned Long played for our VFL side. He comes in the mid-season draft last year. We've got Riley Mason and Josh Brown who are training with the AFL squad 1 day a week these last couple of weeks. They might be taken, Josh Brown has been dominating in the VFL, and we know what Riley Mason can do.
Yep.
Another one is Archer Day.
Yep.
Archie
May.
Archie May?
Yep, from the Waffle.
Archie May, that's the one. See, I told you, I know
right,
sweet
yeah.
F-Law.
Yeah.
Tell me about what you see about those players. Do you think they can land with Collingwood? Are they looking for that forward? Because we've got Charlie West coming.
Yep. Well, I think it's really interesting because Archie May, like you say, is being talked about in the realm of a lot of clubs, but including Collingwood. But as we'll talk about about later in this video, they've got Zach McCarthy on
Yes.
the way at the end of season draft, and they've got Riley West, who's going so well. So do they want another forward, knowing we've still got some years to come from the likes of Tim Membry, Dan McStay, perhaps Mason Cox goes another year as well. So it's not like it's an immediate need. And drafting someone like an Archie May, for example, he's probably not going to play this year. He is still only 20, 21 years old from the Waffle, although he is going very, very well playing senior footy over there. His body shape has probably improved, his conditioning has improved, and yeah, he's got the ability to take contested marks and really highly skilled for a tall guy. So yeah, if you want that presence inside 50 that can be quite relevant at ground level as well as in the air, then Archie May's sort of your guy.
Yeah, so what about, I know a lot of the Collingwood fans love Josh Brown and what he's doing in the VFL. What about someone that's, you know, I know we've got kind of like the halfbacks, we've got where they're a dime a dozen at Collingwood, the inside mids and just mids in general. Do you see him even getting taken in the mid-season draft?
I think he gets taken, whether he gets taken by the Pies or not, I'm not sure. His form's a bit too irresistible to overlook, I'd say.
Yeah, he's been, you know, even the other day, he just looks really clean with the ball. He racks them up and he just knows what to do with it, doesn't he?
My only query about whether he gets taken is that we do know with the mid-season draft it tends to be either your plug-and-play players. So is there a team that desperately needs his type? Or if it's not a team that desperately needs his type, then it's probably not his type of player that tends to go, if that makes sense. It's more of your taller sorts of players, your project sorts of players, or the ones that have come on and are showing something significantly different to what they were in 2024.
It's like when you see the teams like Essendon, for example, you know, they've got Goldstein rucking. You know that they're probably more than likely going to take a guy in the ruck. So who else that I haven't mentioned do you think could get to Collingwood sort of pick, or that they're sort of looking at?
I think they're the main ones. I think there's been some talk around Charlie McCartan from
yes, another intercepting defender.
Another intercepting defender,
taller.
But yeah, a little bit taller, and he's probably a little bit more established. So if you wanted someone that's going to come in and have more of an impact in the shorter term, he's someone that can certainly have an impact. And his first couple of weeks for Geelong in particular at VFL level really showed that. He's probably the main other one that's been linked to Collingwood. Adam Tomlinson, another one in defence. If you wanted some of that defensive cover with Reef McInnes going down, as you talked about, that'd be that like-for-like replacement. And yeah, is he one that's got that long-term future at the Pies? Perhaps not. But if you wanted someone as a stopgap while Reef McInnes is looking to get back, or some of these younger guys putting some muscle on, then he might be one you'd look at.
That plug and play. So pretty much, let's look at Rod Ali. I think, so if it's in 10 days, he'll play again this weekend in the VFL?
He'll play again this weekend, yes. At what level, I'm not sure. So what players have to do to be eligible for the mid-season draft is they have to have nominated for last year's draft, and if they haven't nominated for last year's draft, which Rod Ardley didn't, remember he was playing basketball last year, then you have to have played 3 state league games. So he's played 2 games for Collingwood's VFL, but he's also played 2 Young Guns games, and those Young Guns games do count
is what's going to get
as
you
eligible. So that was why he needed to play at least the 1 game for Collingwood's VFL, which is done now.
Beautiful.
So I guess from a Collingwood perspective, it would be based on merit whether he continues to get selected as 23rd man.
Right, okay. So that's one that we will look out for in the mid-season draft and just in next week in the VFL. It's looking good for the Pies. The mid-season draft is probably the next big thing, which is Rod Ali. Make sure in the VFL, if he's chosen this week, to have a look at him. I've seen him a couple of times already. You know, yesterday's game against the Giants, the undefeated Giants, and he did well down back. Yeah, huge win by the VFL Pies. Jonty, craft of the draft. Thank you so much, mate. I appreciate you taking the time. Thank you. Thanks, guys.